Hey basketball guys, we have news. Let's go to more news from the Golden State Warriors, but before that, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your like. The Golden State Warriors have various assets that could be on the trade block this season. In a surprise move, the organization may send a high-upside wing to the San Antonio Spurs. Jonathan Kuminga is a more intriguing option for San Antonio, and there could be a deal on the table that the Warriors might not refuse. Fadeaway World's Eddie Bitar wrote Tuesday. At just 22 years old, Kuminga has shown flashes of elite potential, averaging 15.5 points per game and 4.5 rebounds per game in limited minutes. His athleticism, defensive versatility, and ability to thrive in transition make him a natural fit alongside Victor Wembanyama. He could grow with the Spurs' young core, and his acquisition wouldn't require sacrificing long-term flexibility. Kuminga's first two NBA seasons were solid, but the 2021 lottery pick is starting to make a name for himself in the big leagues. Kuminga continues to exhibit promise in year 4, averaging over 14 points per contest on 44.2% field goal shooting. While Kuminga must develop a reliable perimeter jumper to reach his full potential, the 6'7" wing's elite vertical leaping ability in transition and refusal to overpenetrate on the perimeter have guided him to semi-stardom thus far. Kuminga would improve the Spurs roster, and the Warriors may attempt to complete another trade after landing Dennis Schroeder on December 14. Time will tell if the Warriors feel compelled to cut ties with Kuminga this season. Jonathan Kuminga's unique caption on his latest Instagram post has fueled rumors that the Warriors star might be getting traded soon. The Golden State Warriors have valued Jonathan Kuminga highly since drafting him with the number 5 pick in the 2021 NBA Draft. In the years since, the team has protected Kuminga in trade talks over the last few years, but his continued unspectacular performances this season have made his name come up in rumors even more. Amidst speculation about his future, Kuminga made a cryptic post on Instagram with various pictures in which he flashes the peace emoji in the caption. You could write it off as just a way to be clever in a caption, but Kuminga regularly posts these photo dumps and usually doesn't add anything in the caption except #JustKnow. The fact that he's done so right now has prompted fans to believe he might be on the way out, or at least been informed that he might be used in trades closer to the deadline after being regarded as untouchable. Kuminga has shown flashes of his all-star talent but has struggled to find consistency, which in turn hurts the minutes he gets on the win-now Warriors. He's averaging 15.1 points, 4.4 rebounds, and 2.0 assists this season, fluctuating between the starting lineup and the bench, not finding a spot where he can thrive to his fullest. Kuminga has clear potential as a dominant two-way forward in the NBA, but that potential might not be realized as a member of the Warriors. He will always have to fit the mold the Warriors want him to fit to ensure he fits well alongside players like Stephen Curry and Draymond Green. He could be a future franchise star, but he hasn't shown that in his 4.5 seasons with the franchise. If the Warriors can't extract that potential, they have to cash in on it while he has value, as Kuminga becomes a free agent next summer with a wildly uncertain market. Warriors refused to trade Kuminga for Cam Johnson. The Warriors recently acquired Dennis Schroeder from the Brooklyn Nets to reinforce the team's guard depth. The Nets are expected to be selling their high-performing players for future assets, with forward Cam Johnson considered to be in high demand by teams around the league, including the Warriors. When the Warriors agreed upon the Schroeder deal, they could have expanded it to include Cam Johnson, but only on the condition that the Warriors give up Kuminga. Naturally, this hasn't happened, which many assumed was a vote of confidence in Kuminga. However, I think it might protect an asset like that for a bigger deal with a higher upside. It could be a potential Jimmy Butler acquisition or someone better than Johnson, who hasn't ever been a 20-point scorer on a team and would be a complementary piece to Curry, not a co-star. Even with his impending free agency, Kuminga should have a robust trade market because a rebuilding team could acquire him, develop him, and most likely sign him to a contract less than the max in the summer to put themselves in a great position to contend if Kuminga's value can be realized. Stephen Curry addresses possibility of teaming up with Lakers LeBron James in NBA. The rivalry between Los Angeles Lakers superstar LeBron James and Golden State Warriors legend Stephen Curry has been going on for nearly a decade. And now another chapter is set to take place when the Lakers and Warriors square off on Christmas Day. The majority of this rivalry took place when James was a member of the Cleveland Cavaliers, meeting the Warriors in 4 consecutive NBA Finals from 2015 to 2018. But there have been some moments since LeBron has joined the Lakers as well, including an incredibly fierce second-round playoff matchup in 2023 in which the Lakers ousted Curry's Warriors in 6 games. But as the years have gone on, the rivalry has shifted a bit, and Curry spoke about it in an interview with ESPN's Malika Andrews, noting that while they will still go at each other on the court, there is more respect now and less pettiness between the two than in years past. It's a fun battle because of the longevity of how long we've been doing this. There's more appreciation and respect than probably back in the day. There was a lot of pettiness and resentment, the rivalry was real. But it evolves. We still want to go at each other, but the respect is there. Now, there's couple more gray hairs, a couple more kids. That respect likely grew even more this past summer as the two were teammates on Team USA and had outstanding chemistry together in leading the team to a gold medal at the Olympics. This of course led to many wondering if the two would ever team up on an NBA court, but Curry said it's highly unlikely, though he didn't necessarily say it won't happen. Probably not. But I think the what-ifs and all that type of stuff, we kind of just leave that for whatever platform people want to talk about it on. It is fun to think about, but the chances of James ending his career anywhere other than with the Lakers is slim at best. Both LeBron and Curry are two of the greatest to ever play the game, and their rivalry was one that the whole basketball world watched grow, and now is the time to appreciate the few meetings they have left against one another. Lakers LeBron James not taking matchups with Stephen Curry for granted. That is certainly the mindset that LeBron James himself is taking, as he noted that it's always fun to go up against someone like Stephen Curry, and we don't know how many more times they will share the court together. Always. Anytime you get an opportunity to be on the court and compete versus one of the greatest to ever play this game, you do not take it for granted, James said. You don't know how many more opportunities you are going to get to go against each other, so it's always fun. Could this be the last Steph Curry-LeBron James Christmas matchup? Curry and James are playing their 4th Christmas Day game against each other Wednesday. The two biggest titans of the NBA's 21st century are meeting for the 4th time on Christmas Day. Given the point each of them are in their careers, it could be one of, if not the last, time they match up on the NBA's signature regular season day. But until they retire, whenever that may be, they're still the main attractions. The same way that Magic and Larry in the 80s, MJ in the 90s, Kobe for a long time, in some ways, they've carried the league, Lakers head coach J.J. Redick said. Popularity, growth, all that stuff. They've had a big part in that. Certainly those consecutive finals against each other really helped in that. I think overall, they're different careers, different legacies, but to me, those guys, both of them, have a strong case if you want to have Mt. Rushmore of the greatest 4 NBA players of all time. James turns 40 at the end of the month. Curry turns 37 in March. They're each still capable of taking over games and rate very highly in advanced metrics like value over replacement player and box plus minus. But they've also shown signs of decline. It would be truly unbelievable if they didn't. In the past week, Curry had 2 of his worst games of his career, a 2-point dud against Memphis and a 2-for-13 night versus Indiana. He hasn't had as much success shedding face guards and double teams and appears less inclined to drive to the basket at times. Asked by ESPN's Malika Andrews if he thinks about how much longer he wants to play, Curry said, "More than I probably have before. It's okay to accept and acknowledge that the end is near at whatever point," Curry said. "But only because it allows you to enjoy what is happening right now. The more you talk about it, the more you acknowledge it, it levels up the sense of urgency of the moment now." James, meanwhile, has scored fewer than 20 points in 11 of his 27 games played. The Lakers are curiously 9.3 points per possession worse with him on the court. Although he has ramped up his defensive intensity to a great degree recently, James isn't nearly the dominant defender he used to be. Earlier this year, he left the team for 8 days for a physical and mental refresh. "Part of it is just father time," Warriors head coach Steve Kerr said. "If you're 40 or almost 37 in Steph's case, it's a lot harder, physically and emotionally, to face what those guys face night after night after night. There's a reason players have to retire. They can't do it forever."